So we are going to see the Ramayana in general, that is the Ramacharitmanas, Peter. It doesn't have any major difference between Ramayana and Ramacharitmanas, right? So let's see a bit the story generally, how it is, and the significance of the characters. We'll see that a bit, right? We'll try to be quite quick with this. Bon, ici, I have written the word Ramayana, but it is actually Ramacharitmanas. Vous trouvez pas tout le monde met Ramayana. It is Ramacharitmanas, right? So the difference here between Ramayana and Ramacharitmanas is what? I tell you, Ramayana was written by Valmiki and Ramacharitmanas written by Tulsidas, right? What is the major difference between these two books, these two scriptures? In the Ramayana, in the Valmiki Ramayana, Ram has been depicted as a model, as a hero, as a model. But if we take Ramacharitmanas, Ram has been depicted both as a hero, model, and as God, right? So that is basically the major difference. Bien sûr, the first one we had Ramayana, then second Ramacharitmanas. And in your syllabus, you have the Aranyakand and the Kishkindakand to do. Okay, so before starting the Aranyakand, I prefer to go a bit, see the story and the characters of the Ramacharitmanas, right? So you all know the Ramacharitmanas, it is a scripture, right, an epic. And it teaches us dharma. Kili Ramayana or Ramacharitmanas, it teaches us dharma. Dharma meaning duty, meaning righteousness. It teaches us the order and regularity of the world, how the world should function, right? And both the word Ramayana and Ramacharitmanas, the root word in it is Ram. So it is the story of Ram finally, and the Ayanam will mean going, walking, right? So the Ramacharitmanas and the Ramayana talks about the journey of Ram, the life of Ram, right? Now, the Ramayana, the symbolic significance of Ramayana. The Ramayana and the Ramacharitmanas, both of them, they have shown the conflict between good and evil forces. For example, Ram himself will be considered as good on the side of Dharma. Perkut, Ravan will be the evil one. So you see that conflict in that story. And finally, who wins? Bien sûr, goodness wins, right? The Ramacharitmanas also talk about the devotion which you are going to do in the Aranyakand, bien sûr. It talks about the devotion between God and the devotees, that pure love which exists, right? Irrespective of caste, anything. And we need to remain on the path of righteousness. Whatever happens, we need to remain on the path of righteousness, right? Like Ram did. Ram was about to be crowned the king of Ayodhya, but finally it was decided that he should go to the forest for 14 years. Yet, okay, he was being banished, yet he still followed the path of righteousness. He never deviated from the path of righteousness, right? Knowledge and power can become destructive. It's true. Let's take, bien sûr, the example of Ravan, right? Ravan was very knowledgeable. He knew the Vedas. I guess you know the song, the Shiv Tandav, right? The Shiv Tandav was written by Ravan. He was a great devotee. He had great knowledge of the scriptures, of spirituality. He was very powerful in every way you can think about. But this became destructive for him because he started developing arrogance out of it, because he had so much knowledge and so much power, right? So we should not be like that, right? It is said, the end of education is character. If we have acquired so much knowledge, okay, the end of it should be a good character, not like the example of Ravan. I continue. So, the main story of the Ramayana, Dashrath had 3 wives, right? Dashrath had 3 wives, the Kaushalya, Kaikeyi, and Sumitra. And then they had 4 sons, Ram, Lakshman, Bharat, and Shatrughna, right? So they were living happily, yes, yeah. And Ravan symbolizes the ego. Ravan jislatet 10 heads, right? So it symbolizes the ego with 10 evil qualities. These are the evil qualities. Bien sûr, il n'est pas important qu'ils se connaissent tout ça là for your syllabus, but just généralement, okay? We are talking about it for you to be aware of things. So he was a demon, no doubt. He had the tamasic gun in him. You remember the 3 gunas, sattva gun, rajas gun, and tamas gun, right? And Sita got kidnapped by Ravan when Ravan disguised himself in the form of a sage, and he came to beg to ask for food. Et Lakshman, avant d'y aller, l'itimetsa Lakshman Rekha. Okay, that Sita should not cross this line. This is the protection line for Sita. Sita should not at any cost cross this line. But eventually she had to cross it because Ravan told her that he can't accept such a thing. And Madame peut donner something to eat, yes, but so far, like, like at times we throw something to a beggar. He did not like that. And Ravan, yes, so he was not able to enter that line also, right? So Sita got kidnapped. And Ram was in search of Sita, where Ram met Shabri, which we'll do in a short while. Ram met Shabri, and then they proceeded in search of Sita, where Ram and Lakshman, they met many ape-like men. These are men, but they are like ape-like men. And then, as from then, their army, the army of monkeys, of ape-like men, became large, right? So again, Bukuban attendants, you can say. And then they could invade Lanka later on. So now to go to Lanka, they had to cross the sea, the ocean, because as you know, Lanka is found, in the south of India, and they are separated by the sea. So they had to cross the sea. Now, how to cross the sea? They had to build a bridge. So when they were building the bridge, they were throwing stones, and no doubt the stones will sink, right? But then Hanuman had an idea of writing the name of Ram on each stone. So everyone, they were writing the name Ram, and they were constructing the bridge, right? This is how, through this bridge from India, they went to Lanka. And there, Ram destroyed and killed Ravan, right? He destroyed the ego, the army of Ravan. Ram was not alone. Lakshman was with him, Hanuman, Sugriv, and the whole army, right? He was not alone. And after that, the defeat of Ravan, they returned to Ayodhya, right? In the aerial chariot, they returned to Ayodhya together with Hanuman, Lakshman, and others, right? And then later, Ram and Sita became Ram became the king of Ayodhya. Now, the main characters, we are sure the first one is Ram. Ram, as I told you, is an incarnation of God, right, of Vishnu. He's perfect, he's ideal, an ideal son, ideal brother. He has sattva gun in him, right? Purity, sattva gun. He's fearless, he's a warrior, he's just perfect, right? These are the few qualities of Ram. Then you have Lakshman, who always accompanied Ram. He also accompanied Ram to the forest. So he's considered to be an ideal brother. He was also acting as a protector to Ram, though Ram does not need protection, no doubt. But he was there always for Ram. And he was very loyal as well, right? And you have Sita. Sita is herself Lakshmi. Whenever Vishnu comes on earth, Lakshmi comes together. So Ram came and Lakshmi came in the form of Sita, right? So she's also perfect. She's the personification of beauty, of chastity, what we call being a chaste woman. She's dharma. She is the personification of dharma, dharma that is righteousness, being swept to by duty as a woman, as a wife, right? Then you have Hanuman. I guess all of you know Hanuman, who is considered to be the greatest devotee ever, greatest devotee of Ram. He was pure, he is pure, he's sincere, and he's known to be the remover of evils. That's why we actually pray him, right? Ravan, as I told you earlier, he signifies ego. He's a demon, he's evil, he's tamas, and he has other demonic qualities as well, lack of judgment. He was very materialist as well. You have Dashrath. Dashrath is the father of Ram, right? Dashrath was a very nice human being, very dharmic, you can say, dutiful person, a very loving person. And but he also suffered in life because of his karmas as well, right? Then you have Kaikeyi. Kaikeyi is the personification of selfish love. C'est à cause Kaikeyi même qui Ram went to the forest. Dashrath promised the Kaikeyi once that you can ask me two things anytime in life, I'm going to grant you that. Donc, quand when it was decided that Ram will become the king of Ayodhya, Kaikeyi did not like that. Parce que les dit son Bharat become the king of Ayodhya, right? Donc what she did, Yakut Dashrath, and asked for the two boons, right? The two boons, that is to send Ram to the forest for 14 years, and secondly, to make Bharat the king of Ayodhya. So this is called selfish love. Then you have Ahalya. Ahalya is a woman actually described in the Ramayana. She is the one who became a stone because she was cursed. And then she was in the forest, yes, in the form of a stone. And Ram, when he was in the forest, he touched that stone. And that stone revealed also original form, that is Ahalya, the woman. Then we have Jatayu. This one is in the Aranyakand. We'll learn about him. Jatayu is actually the bird. who is a divine messenger and who is also known as the guardian, right? We have Vibhishan. Vibhishan is the brother of Ravan. Bien les contraires de Ravan. Ravan was evil, this one, no, right? He was like a light in darkness. And that's why he was kicked out from Lanka by Ravan. Ravan did not like him because he was very righteous. He was a great devotee of Ram. And we have Kumkarna. Kumkarna is again the brother of Ravan. C'est Sam qui nous dit elle dormit 6 mois, il mangeait 6 mois, right? Yeah. So this is it a bit about generally the story about the Ramacharitmanas.